I was looking for a social media scheduler to help me organize my posting. I like to make 10, 20 pieces of content, then schedule them for the next 2 weeks. That's how I came across Agile Assets. Now, I really think this brand needs a redesign because as it stands, I'm sure it's leaving a ton of money on the table. And here's why. When I'm looking for a scheduler, I'm of course going to open up a ton of options to compare them. Now, the first thing that I look for is pricing. Here, this does not show up. You can search for it, but it's not going to show up on the homepage. And I don't see it in the main navigation like on most websites. So, this is the first big drawback. Next, I need to know about your integrations. Do you work with Blue Sky? What about X? What about YouTube? Plus, how many posts can I schedule at one time? Now, some platforms have a limit. Now, these initial questions are critical, and if I don't get an answer ASAP, I'm just gonna leave. Now, because of these 2 points, I'm gonna assume that your bounce rate is quite high. More than that, you have no idea why people are not signing up. They simply leave, so there's no feedback of any kind, so you don't know what needs to be fixed. So these are some of the things that you have to address as soon as possible. Now, you had a great lifetime deal on a third-party website, so I stayed on to see if maybe this was the right fit for me. I then had a look at your overall design, and there's a lot of room for improvement. Just rapid fire stuff. You're showcasing your logo front and center. But as a potential client, I really don't care about your branding or your agency. I just need to know what you can do for me. But again, this does not happen. The slogan, pretty good, but it gets lost in this busy hero section. Now, the navigation really needs some love. The gaps on either side, they're not equal. The main menu is not centered, though it seems that was the intention. And the contrast is quite modest. You need the darker background photo, and the font size, it's quite tiny. It's hard to read. Now in the hero section, I'm not sure why you chose to split up this image, but I can clearly see that you forgot to include a clear call to action. Free trial is super small inside a black button in the main navigation, which again is quite small as well, and that just doesn't cut it. Overall, the user's experience is far from ideal, and as we move down, I can see a lot of room for improvement. I'm sure someone really put a lot of love into this design, but it's not focused on the client, on the user. Take this image gallery. Assume I don't hover over any one of these images. What then? And even when I do, honestly, I'm not sure what this is. I'm assuming it's a feature, of course, but as a content creator, as a brand owner and entrepreneur, this doesn't do much for me. And there are contrast issues in a lot of places, and you're very much focused on yourself and not the potential client. And when I finally saw the pricing area, I had no idea what these plans mean. I'm sure you wanted to stand out and be different, sure, but I can't make an informed decision. I have no idea. What's the difference between Cosmo City and Global Village? Absolutely no idea. And I'm seriously interested in your services. But leaving that aside, the experience when scheduling a post is not ideal either. So when I signed up, I didn't immediately see a place to connect my social media accounts. I didn't see that. It should be front and center. I did manage and I was ready to start. Okay, so I'm gonna drag this image and then you're asking for the time. Okay, pretty good. What's not good is this picker. Taking a step back, the whole brand tries to stand out with interesting colors, a funky character, some quirky fonts. That's cool, but it's not cohesive, and most of the time it creates friction. I have to concentrate. I have to really focus and read the text. I have to focus on the smallest things because the UX is just not there. Anyway, I select the time and I hit the button. And then, okay, what happened? I was expecting to choose where this is going to be posted. Actually, I have to click on it and then I can add a caption. But again, where is this going to be posted? I see a few icons here, though they appear inactive because this has a very super light gray. And when you add white on top of this shade of gray, it just doesn't work. It seems inactive. But yeah, finally, I realized I had to click on the rocket to choose my channels. And this is just weird. And I think the software behind it is totally fine, but the packaging, the interface, the customer's experience, these all can be improved. I'm Chris Barron, Adobe Certified Instructor, and I basically specialize in web design. I hope this was helpful, even though I was quite abrupt. I promise it's all positive and coming from a good place. I respect what you've built, and hopefully you can use some of this feedback so you can ramp up things and get more paying customers. Best of luck and feel free to message me.